Hello, welcome to Trade Compass. I'm Susanna Pak. When you hear about up-and-coming economies, does East Africa come to mind? The region's GDP is expected to grow more than 6% next year to hold its spot as one of the fastest-growing regions in the world, despite slowdown elsewhere. So let's take a look at what makes East Africa tick and what fuels the flow of business across borders. Natalie Demeisen has more.
The East African Community is a regional bloc made up of Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, and the United Republic of Tanzania. This grouping stands out because, unlike Africa's 7 other regional economic groupings, it also focuses on political unity. Governments across the region are laying the foundation for people to do business across borders.
EAC has been making really impressive progress in terms of integrating. It will be impossible to make the progress that we have been able to make in the EAC without the strong political will that we are benefiting from at the highest level. For us in Rwanda, the regional integration is really at the cornerstone of our economic policies, but then political will itself won't make it happen. In addition to the political will, the head of state have put in place a system, regular engagement.
Governments in the region must work together and also have buy-in from the private sector.
When the heads of state of the East African community meet to discuss any political matter, necessarily the Business Council is represented in that room. And so we discuss matters affecting creation of wealth, poverty eradication, availing services to people, so we move together.
Technology also plays a major role in regional integration. For example, phone calls between Kenya and Rwanda jumped more than 9 times after the region cut calling costs. Also, tourists can apply online for multi-country visas. And a single customs territory backed by online data speeds up delivery of goods. Technology also allows firms to do business outside their own countries. We head to Kenya, the Silicon Savannah, to find out more about the country's business process outsourcing industry. Innovative ideas fuel innovation.
It actually started off in a night shift when you're trying to fight your own sleep. People get up for some 5-10 minutes, do a kind of a quick dance and songs, and where we invite people to sing and dance as well. 10-15 minutes maximum. We go back, charged up and fresh.
Working in 3 shifts throughout the day, data entry operators at the Nairobi office of Digital Divide Data take dance breaks to re-energize, then continue inputting handwritten information into clients' databases.
As we are growing, people started knowing us, so people are looking up to us. That includes our local government as well, East African governments.
Across town is another business process outsourcing company, Andis Bytes Limited. Whether they have 400 operators or 10, companies using information and communications technology are part of a growing industry in East Africa.
What we do now is we are more into web design, e-learning platforms development, and we have just recently started a new offering of 3D product animation. We want to position ourselves as the company that has this kind of services.
Technological progress makes up about 50% of economic growth rates, according to the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Even with stiff competition from more mature industries in India and Southeast Asia, companies in Kenya and Rwanda are using information and communications technology to enter production chains without having to develop an entire production process. In Kenya, technology and telecommunications alone have been attracting over 40% of foreign direct investment since 2007. Still, there is room to grow, particularly when it comes to financing the businesses.
I wish there was a way that our financial institutions can be educated in the potential of ICTs.
Looking ahead, the goal is to solidify East Africa's position as a technological hub through financial support and investment, so its reach goes beyond the continent and across the ocean.
Around the world, commodities are in a slump. Economies that export raw goods are hard hit by having to sell at low prices. So coffee-producing countries in the region are stepping up by adding value to beans and marketing them as specialty coffees. This strategy, combined with lower trade costs, is contributing to a more stable economic outlook in the region. From small-scale coffee farms in Rwanda to the global headquarters of Starbucks in the United States, coffee grew strong interest around the world. People are drinking more coffee today, and that trend is here to stay. Demand is expected to rise 25% in the next 5 years, according to the International Coffee Organization. Consumers also increasingly care about where their coffee comes from. To meet this demand, countries in the East African community are shifting from selling coffees to middlemen to processing, packaging and marketing their coffee as single origin.
Quand on reçoit les cafés des producteurs, on les réceptionne, on les pèse d'abord et puis on fait la sélection des cafés. On enlève les cafés qui sont abîmés par les insectes, des cafés qui sont pas très mûrs.
After the beans are sorted, they are washed, depulped, fermented and dried, and sorted again to ensure that only ripe, whole beans make it through. That's because quality processed beans fetch higher prices than freshly picked beans sold to local middlemen. The extra income goes back into the community.
Chaque année, nous avons un prix de Cup of Excellence et avec ça, on leur donne de l'argent et on achète les vaches et on fait les tombolas pour les producteurs. Et puis, ça leur donne l'argent pour l'école. Des fois, on les aide même à payer même la mutuelle de santé.
In neighboring Uganda, farmer Joseph Mayanja earns more than 4 times what he used to earn for his coffee beans now that he prunes his plants, uses fertilizer, and properly stores dried beans. In other words, he, like others in the region, add value before selling. These forms of processing add direct value to the beans and bring in higher incomes for producers in East Africa.
The number of foreign direct investment projects in East Africa has grown about 20% every year since 2007. That's the strongest rate on the continent, according to Ernst & Young. We'll see how one German multinational company is investing in small businesses in East Africa. Green Forest Foods is abuzz with activity. The Nairobi-based honey packaging firm is producing more and delivering goods faster, thanks to the lean methodology.
From the time we implemented lean, we have seen drastic changes. We have been able to produce more with the same resources.
The lean method involves analyzing production and delivery processes to clear bottlenecks and boost efficiency. Workers spent a lot of time scooping honey into jars, so management introduced a new method, a bucket with a gauge, which allows jars to be weighed while being filled.
Now it's just a matter of opening and closing, so they can do it all day and not get tired.
The result? Operators now pack up to 10 1-kilogram cartons per hour versus 7. And the time between receiving an order and dispatching has dropped from 13 hours to 7. Green Forest Foods and 2 other small businesses, Mace Foods and Stowie Foods and Fruits, learned to improve their processes through trainings led by Bosch and the International Trade Center.
Bosch is wanting to grow strongly in Africa, and it's a long-term thinking activity on better understanding actually the African market, but also to know how to implement logistics processes in Africa.
The German multinational company and the government of Finland funded the workshops. One of the reasons countries in the region attract investment, some of the highest on the continent, is their trend towards improved quality of goods and more sophisticated products, according to the International Monetary Fund.
We are getting more money, so hopefully we'll get that money to invest in more methods that we can improve our quality, we can respond to our customers in a better way.
Bosch and ITC are partnering with the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management to ensure these small businesses and others continue to improve their operations.
We are optimistic that the SMEs that are participating in this now will grow and they will continue to practice the lean techniques and to perfect them. We'll be there to work with them.
For these businesses, higher productivity and quality enable them to capture more market share and attract investment.
Plans to create the tripartite free trade area in Africa will bring together the East African community with 2 other regional economic groupings. An undertaking like this is no small feat. It requires united vision from governments and strong collaboration with the business community. In other words, it's about disrupting the status quo.
Just cracking the tough nut. Where there hasn't been progress, then challenging all of us, challenging the policymakers, challenging the regulators, and challenging the business community to just say, why isn't it happening? Since it will make all of us better off.
There's a synergy that comes from uniting communities. The tripartite free trade area would provide more than 600 million people in 27 countries with free movement of goods, labor, and capital. Breaking down borders can create a ripple effect of benefits in the immediate area and around the world. Thank you for joining us. I'm Susanna Pak in Geneva. See you again soon.